Nobody likes reading the rules to the game. Nobody listens when you try to tell them the rules anyway. So what if we can make the starting steps to your game night just a little bit easier? Let's look into how real estate, railroads, and some random chance can help you become a hotel hero and millionaire mogul. Welcome to the library. And today we'll be looking at the rules and gameplay for Monopoly. Before we start, you're going to need to select a banker. This person's going to be in charge of giving you your money, your properties, your houses, and your hotels. They'll also be in charge of giving out change and facilitating auctions. More on that later. While another player shuffles and places the chance and community chest cards on the board, the banker will hand each player $1,500, divided as so: 5 ones, 1 5, 2 10s, 1 20, 1 50, 4 100s, and 2 500s. Each person will pick their little token and then place it on go. Next, you'll each roll the die and count up your total. The person who rolls the highest will go first. Players will take turns rolling the die and moving forward. If they land on a space that is unowned, they can buy it for the cost at the bottom of the tab. If they don't want to buy it or they can't afford it, the property will go to auction. Facilitated by the banker, all players, including the player who passed on the property and the banker, can make quick time bids for the property. The bids must always start at $10 and can go up in increments as low as $1. Once there are no more bids, the player with the highest bid will pay the banker and win the property. If you land on a property that is already owned, you have to pay rent. What you pay in rent depends on what properties you land on. For the utilities, whatever you rolled will be multiplied by 4 if you only have one utility. But if someone owns both, rent is 10 times what you rolled. For the railroads, it starts at $25 and then doubles for each additional railroad that player owns. For the standard properties, you start with low rent. But if you can get a monopoly, that price doubles. And it increases even more if you can get houses or hotels. Finally, before the end of the turn, you can entertain trades and deals. These can be for properties or cash, but there are a couple of rules. The first is simple. The person whose turn it is has to be included in the deal in some way. You can't sell or buy properties with hotels and houses on them. And you can buy, sell, or trade properties that have been mortgaged, but the mortgage must be paid by the new player before it can become an active property. Once you've moved, bought, sold, or traded, your turn ends and play will continue clockwise. That is, unless you roll doubles. Then you get to take another turn immediately. Now that the basics are covered, let's go over some of the special spaces on the board. The most common ones you'll see are chance and community chest. When you land here, you pull the corresponding card and do what it asks. It can give you money, make you pay money, move you on the board, or even give you a get out of jail free card. Speaking of jail, if you happen to end up there either by rolling doubles 3 times in a row or even landing on the go to jail space, there are 2 ways to get out. On your turn, you can either roll doubles again or simply pay $50. If after 3 rounds you have not rolled doubles, you will automatically have to pay the $50, and then whatever you rolled that 3rd time will be your movement out. Free parking is just a free space, nothing too fun. The tax stops make you pay a certain amount to the bank, and Go gives you $200 every time you pass it. Finally, let's talk about houses and hotels. These can only be built once a player has a monopoly of that one color. Once you've gotten that monopoly, you can build houses on any turn, not just your own. However, you do need to build them evenly. You cannot put a second house on any of your properties until they all already have one. Once a property has 4 houses, you can upgrade that to a hotel. If you need money later on, you can sell your houses and hotels back to the bank for half the cost of what you bought them for. But be warned. There's a limited number of houses and hotels in the game, and once they're gone, you have to wait for more. So it could come up that you'd have to sell a hotel, but can't get houses back on it because there's none available. Another way to earn cash late in the game is to mortgage your properties. To do this, you turn your deed card over and get paid the mortgage cost from the bank. This property can no longer collect rent until you've unmortgaged it, which is the mortgage value plus 10%. Don't worry, if it's part of a monopoly, the other properties that aren't mortgaged can still collect the heightened rent of having the monopoly. If, after all of this, you still don't have the money to pay off your debts, you go bankrupt. You'll settle any debts to any players, and then anything you can't sell off will be given to the bank to auction off. With all that in mind, if you are the last player to not go bankrupt, you win. This has been the Rulebook for Monopoly. If there's any other rules you think I've forgotten or variations of play that you want to tell people about, put it in the comments below. But remember, sometimes having fun with your friends means forgetting a rule or two. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know what board, card, or tabletop game you want us to read the rulebook for next. Thanks for watching.